Hello, good morning, and welcome to episode 52 of Nebula Quest. I am Noden, your host, as always. So many great things are happening right now. My head's very wobbly like this right now. I don't know why that is. It's like there's some track IR settings that I need to make some adjustments to get rid of some of this, because that's a little bit. I don't need this. This right here. I don't need a lot of that. Get a nausea warning. Yeah, so many things are happening right now in the world of space sims and, well, just generally video games that I'm interested in. So, the number one, I think, let's go with, well, I'd go with the number one, well, okay. One of the things is that Elite Dangerous Horizons, the beta, is now available, and I have been playing it a little bit. There's going to be an episode of Space Config coming out talking about it. I actually hummed and hawed for a fair bit about whether or not we were going to continue Nebula Quest in Horizons itself, or in the beta, I should say, of Horizons. And after some long soul searching, I've discovered or decided that it's probably best to just leave Nebula Quest in Elite Dangerous until Horizons is an actual release. There's a few things that are going to happen in Horizons, I'm sure, as it develops. And I don't know how long, I don't know when the actual release date is. It seems to me it's a very short release date, but regardless, or short length of time before the release date, but I don't know exactly, I don't remember. The big thing I'm talking about here is that if there's any resets or anything like that, or anything changes, I don't want Nebula Quest to get set back because we're in a beta, in an experimental version. So we're going to continue on in a full-fledged version until Horizons becomes available for like full release, and then we'll just take that plunge. So far, though, I think it's going to be a really great addition to Nebula Quest. I was looking at it a little bit, and I'm pretty happy with how it all is shaping up, how things are going to be. It's, again, it is incremental. In my mind, it still feels very incremental, and we'll see how, again, as it develops, what it turns into. It really feels more like a DLC than the $70 another game price tag. But what are you going to do? Also, Elite Dangerous right now, or I don't know if right now if it was just for Black Friday, and my screen just minimized for no damn good reason, because Adobe has a fucking update. No, I don't know idea how much of that recorded, but yeah, Adobe has an update, so, you know, screen minimization, that's fun. But yeah, so I don't know if it was just for Black Friday or what, but Elite Dangerous was on sale for like 15 or 16 bucks, which I think is a great fucking bargain. This is a great game for 16 bucks. Well worth it. I actually almost bought it for our good friend Pratt Rock, but then I figured that what he'd really want is Horizons, because he would probably want to be able to land on planets and drive around little dune buggies, so I just didn't. I'm like, well, I'll just wait then. My voice sounds really like today, doesn't it? Like very no, just me? Other news is that the Star Citizen PTU, the Arena Commander 2.0, is in now limited release out to the public. There are some people who are so minimizing again. Keep the same fucking color scheme. Jesus Christ. I swear to God, what could possibly, and this is going to do it again because, okay, wow, I'm so happy and thrilled right now with the amount of minimization that's going on. Well, let's slow it down, and we'll just sit here and watch this. Yes, I'm not so lucky, I don't have access to it yet. Hopefully soon. I'm excited to play. Actually, I was going to. Apparently, I'm an update behind already with my. Oh, and we should do one of these as well. With my Star Citizen updates, and I was going to update it, and then I saw that it was like a 30 gig update. I'm like, I'll wait. Thank you. I will wait. I will wait until there's something that I want to muck around with before I invest 30 gigs worth of fucking download time. At least their download manager allows me to throttle their download so I can, like, pop it down to a level where it doesn't suck up every drop of internet in the house, so that I can continue, watching YouTube videos and doing other things. Another game that is out, which isn't space related or nearly as exciting as those things, is RWBY. So I don't expect most people to know what this is. So you may have heard of Rooster Teeth. They did the Red vs. Blue web series from starting a million years ago. It's still going. Can we please continue to slow down? Thank you. They did an anime, started an anime series a couple of years ago called RWBY, RWBY, and it's pretty fantastic. I enjoy it. It's different. It's American. You can tell it's American, but it's still quite good, and I really enjoy it. And they have done a game, so it's on Steam, greenlight right now. It just got greenlit, so it's early access. It's sort of like a 4-man co-op, like sort of hacky slashy run around game. You have no option except to play it in co-op, which is fine unless you have social anxieties, or you feel like you are disappointing people by leaving because you have to go and make dinner for people or something. But it's pretty fun, and it's not. I was kind of hoping it would be more of a actual fighting game. I've been in the market for a fighting game, and I know what you're all going to say. You're going to say Super Smash Brothers. But that would involve me buying a Wii U or playing it on my 3DS. Which, I could play it on my 3DS, but I don't know. I kind of want something here. So I was looking at a few other things. I was looking at the new Dragon Ball game. Actually looks pretty, well, not new, but newer Dragon Ball game actually looks pretty entertaining. And again, it's just it's a fighting game, and I don't know why I've been in the market for a fighting game. I've never really been a fighting game guy. I've never been that guy, but for whatever reason, I've suddenly have the urge to blow past my target and never slow down. Play a fighting game. So it's I'm in the market. So if you know one, but RWBY, anyways, I was excited for it, and it's out, and I was playing a bit of that, just a very little bit of it, maybe an hour or two. I was not very good. I played as Blake, and I was the bottom of the list every time. Which for a game that's just come out makes me really, worried about my ability to play games. I keep hitting the wrong buttons here. But Planetary Landing is pretty good. It's super seamless. I haven't figured out how to do everything there. There's also supposed to be a orbital cruise mode, which I think you just have to get into a zone of the planet to enter orbital cruise. I haven't been able to figure that out. Sorry, this is jumping back to Horizons again. I haven't been able to figure that out yet, but that will come later, I'm sure. Let us discover there are so many good little quirks that are in it, which I'm sure are also in. There's also a beta for the. Let's see if we can go that far, but we're not going to go that far. A beta for the next update, which I think is 1.6 for this, which brings in some new ships, but it also brings in 64-bit, and I think there's going to be some other updates that are really super helpful, which I love to death.
Frameshift drive charging.
And which are really super useful for regular everyday navigation and things like we do here on Nebula Quest. Which I will talk about more later when they come out, or in that episode of Space Coffee, which is forthcoming. Yeah, but so all these things have been happening. All these games are coming out. There's been all this like fun and excitement, and I have still been playing Fallout 4 a lot. It is. I think I said it's been a long time, like literally since Skyrim, that I've had a game that I've been sort of this engrossed in. I am 100% that engrossed. Alright, let's slow it down. I I learned how to do this. Okay, let's get... I did some learning. And we get it right around 16. Okay? And we just sit there. And we just let it fill. And our temperature will go up a little bit, but not so much that anything bad will happen. It's not the fastest refuel rate, but we can just sit here at 16-ish. And everything's fine. Yeah, so it's not... okay, yeah, speaking of refuel, okay, let's go back. Let's erase everything I just said. We're not talking about Fallout. This is not an episode where we talk about Fallout. This is an episode where we talk about Elite Dangerous. So, when I went into the Horizons beta, and it started me close to where we were here in Nebula Quest with our good Blackadder here, Edmund, and I actually had me worried that it was actually sharing a save with Nebula Quest, which thankfully it isn't. Regardless, I'm going to also just give us a little bit of left rudder. And maybe just a touch of speed.
Warning, temperature critical.
Yeah, I thought it might be. Okay, let's get out of here. I got a little bit too deep in, I think. Anyway, so yeah, so
Fuel scoop
once
disengaged.
we were... So I'm like, okay, well I need to
Fuel
head...
scooping.
In order to land on planets and whatnot, you need to make purchases, which means I had to go back to, like, habited space so I could find a port that could, you know, outfit me. Which, you know, it's a ways away. So I started jumping back and whatnot, and was doing good on monitoring my fuel for a while, and at a certain point I just stopped paying attention, and I 100% ran out of fuel. Like, down to, like, the engine just said, yeah, you got nothing left. Like, we're shutting down your oxygen, that sort of thing. So, had to self-destruct and respawn. So nice having a ship that was fully functional again, though, let me tell you, fully repaired and all painted up. Actually realized that once we do get back to civilization, there's lots of fun little upgrades that we can afford, which are going to be really nice and exciting, and I'm happy and super excited for them. It's I will say that it was a bit of a pain, as it is in this game, I think in general, whenever you want to upgrade stuff, in that not everything is at every station, obviously. So, but even, it's like, okay, when I spawn in a beta, I want to be able to spawn in somewhere where I can get the things so I can actually test the stuff that is part of the beta, which is planetary landing. Not be 500 light years away from any station.
Fuel scooping complete.
And certainly not, like, and then have to hunt around station to station trying to find the parts that I need. So, I mean, I understand, you know, that they want to just say, okay, this is Horizons working in our persistent universe that we have. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but, I mean, can we just test the stuff we want to test instead of, let's run a dubstep, and let's get this star discovered, now that we've sucked in a bunch of beautiful hydrogen, or whatever it is that we use off of it, for fuel. Yeah, I don't know, there's lots of little things like that. I was like, well, you know, couldn't this be easier to do for a beta, but, you know, whatever. So many cool things. Actually, I want to see how many of these things actually exist in the real world. So there's filters, which is a new thing that'll be in here. So you can actually filter the locations, which is super nice. And then when you're planning out your routes, so you've got economical and fastest, and there'll be another option, which will be for boosted engines when that becomes a thing. We don't have boosted engines, so it's not a big deal. But, which I didn't actually realize that there was fastest and economical. I used the fastest route, probably not the best idea. Probably want to stick with the economical route. Because I forgot, too, because we were doing well, and I think what I thought was, hey, we've been doing really well. There's been 1,001 stars that we could grab fuel off of. I can, let the tank empty out a little bit more before I worry about going in to get fuel. And I forgot about the fucking brown dwarf desert that we got through to get here. Because that's what it is. It is a desert. It is an area of space that has no fuel. So that's a bit of a pain in the ass. And that's where I ran out of fuel. And I didn't, like I did in this, stop and think long enough to go, okay, we're running out of fuel. Where can I go to actually get fuel? It was like, well, the next star on our route might have fuel. Well, the next star on our route might have fuel. Well, the next star... Okay, there's no fuel. But yeah, that's all pretty fun. The Adder here is a pretty light and nimble ship, so it actually flies fairly well in... like, that's not really in atmo. It's like, we're not in atmosphere. We're just sort of...
Fuel scooping.
I don't know what we are. Because we're... The big thing is that that is the point with this, is that all the planets that you can land on are airless planets, which I suppose that the only reason for that is so that they don't have to worry about modeling atmosphere and atmospheric flight, or maybe that's something that will come later. I know that currently there's only 4 planet types that you can land on, so it's like icy, rocky, and high metal content planets. I think those are the only ones so far, which means that I don't think there's none with liquid water, there's none with atmosphere, anything like that you can't land on, as I understand it. And that goes for, and I say planets, but I mean, I think any moon-sized or greater object. That also means you can't land on obviously gas giants or things like that, where there'd be some strange hydrodynamics that would have to come into the development. I don't know how that would work. Theoretically, I mean, you can't land on a gas giant, but at a certain point you could have sort of a space submarine.
3, 2,
that would be just
1, engage.
hanging out inside. You'd be floating, instead of in water, you'd be floating through a gas, because it'd be that dense. That could be weird, but it's possible. I mean, totally, it's a legit thing.
Fuel scooping.
It's a thing. I mean, that's you'd come to a point of neutral buoyancy just naturally, and then you could affect your buoyancy theoretically. Well, you can make yourself go deeper, certainly. I don't know how that would work. And then you could release ballast, yes, then you could rise. Yeah. Yeah, that should work, I would think. I don't know. It would be interesting. And I don't know how any of that's going to work at all, so that's a whole world in and of itself that may or may not ever come to be. But so far it's pretty good. It'll be interesting to see, like I say, what happens with it in the future. Yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good. I enjoy it. Yeah. Alright, that's all I got for you. And so we will be back next time. And between then and now, we will be continuing with Soma, which has been going really good. It's really fun, actually, and I'm excited to continue playing that some.
Warning,
and Sama.
critical.
And we got enough fuel anyways. And we'll have a episode of Space Coffee coming out,
Fuel
which is
disengaged.
long overdue. It has been a long time since we've done an episode of Space Coffee. And we also have a new show that will be coming up, which will be probably just a weekly thing because it takes a million years to edit. And it will be... Oh, there's another thing here. Damn it. Make me travel. Didn't I do a dubstep scanner? And there's nothing here? Just that one? But there's a thing? Well, we're gonna have to do some exploring, but that will be next time. Yeah, until then, Sean, I love you. Good night. Big yellow star. Okay.